Like, obviously, we're talking about the Bao drama. You know, it's Bao. I can't scroll too far in this Twitter, so don't ask me to, because Bao has stuff in here that Twitch don't like. But that doesn't matter. My first problem is with this. This right here is my first problem. It is terminating my work with Sinder. All right. First off. All right. Why are we making this public? I'm sorry. Why? Terminating my work with Sinder. We couldn't have done this in like DMs. We couldn't have been like, I don't like what you did. I ain't working with you no more. This. Why we gotta make it public? Like, right? Like, this is dumb. All right, this is dumb. I got nothing to say on that other than that. We're putting this shit on. Immediately, this is the first sign. I saw this. I was like, all right, we're putting this on blast. All right, we're going on blast. Big blast. She is the epicenter of it. Don't get me wrong, Cinder, it's Cinder drama, but it's Bao and Cinder, it's everybody. It's everybody's drama. Bao drama, Cinder drama, fucking VTuber 1, Silvervale, fucking dog, we got 5 Google Docs. 5. There's a 6th one somewhere out there floating in the ether. Fuck if I know. But this is 5 Google Docs in like a day, by the way, like a day apart, which immediately tells me who was it that said it? I think it was somebody here starts this off with, I don't want it to be a witch hunt. Well, then why is it public? Like, I don't want this to be a witch hunt. That means start a witch hunt. Exactly. So, oh no, my Oshi, you're so right. So let's start off with nanos. This would be nanos. I want to share my experience with Cinder and Red manipulating me. Using me and dragging me into drama while sabotaging and slandering and spreading lies about people I thought were her closest friends. Not only do I no longer wish to work with Cinder, but I want to share what I've endured over the years and shed light on what she has been doing behind people's backs to protect artists and friends that may be experiencing. Then why don't you tell your friends that, brother? All right, that may be experiencing something similar. I struggled a lot with writing this document and wasn't sure if what I felt and experienced was real or just burnout, but I think this proves that I was lied to and manipulated over the course of years while working with Cinder. Okay. Note, based on working with Redacted, Red Cinder's manager, and Cinder over the years, that I am sure they speak for each other and there is no reason to believe Red was acting without Cinder's consent and knowledge. Whenever I use they or them, it refers to both of them acting as a team. Okay. English not being my first language and the language barrier, I discussed the situation, my feelings and thoughts with native English speakers who helped me put them into words, so everything is clear without misunderstandings due to lack of English skills. Okay. Any names that are censored here were censored because the creator in question did not provide consent to have their name revealed by the time of me posting this document. Slandering other creators. I will start with screenshots showing them speaking ill of other creators and spreading rumors while manipulating me that it's all in our best interest. In addition to spreading ill rumors, that's weird. There's no that's a weird one. Spreading ill rumors. I don't think there's positive rumors. I think that's why they're called rumors, but sure. They also complain and accuse Bao of giving their editor too much work. Why is that in quotations? Resulting in the editor not having any time for new clients, which will be important later on. The screenshots below show them showing their affection and appreciation immediately, followed by spreading rumors and lies to make other clients appear problematic to manipulate any further decisions regarding commissions. This is a bunch of closed door shit, talking and sabotage. People do that all the fucking time. It sucks and it's mean, but like, it's not that serious, okay? Of course, I wanted to understand it better, especially if I cancel her for the second time. Well, with blank, she's given a lot of bias and priority, and she is sometimes over Sinder, and we can't really confront them about it, and plus she's gone 3D lately. Bao has been getting on our nerves for a while. She hijacked our YouTube editor a while ago and is constantly picking up artists that we work with. We've gotten to know her better being friends with her, but she really rubs us the wrong way with the things she does. We wanted to try and safeguard our most important artist from her since she's already taken our editor. And I don't mean taken like he doesn't work with us anymore. He does, but he has to dedicate time for her now, and sometimes that gets in the way of our projects. Also, one of Bao's MV editors is the one video editors is the one that did the Boss Rush MV, and we're also 99% sure she told him not to do any more with us. But like, model art is the most important thing. That's a VTuber's entire image. Well, we love working with you. Sinder wouldn't be Sinder without Nano. Okay, but like, let me tell you the tea about my MV thing. Bao had original songs last year that had MVs by her editor, and the songs flopped. Her editor met us at TwitchCon and was saying that he'd love to work with us, practically jumping through hoops to get something planned. We managed to have him squeeze in the Boss Rush MV between his work with Bao. He says he loved working on it and is super excited to work on the next MV project. Boss Rush's song blows up, and he's credited as the editor. I ask him when he's free to do the next project. All of a sudden, he changes his mind and is only working with Bao going forward. No explanation. Okay. There's some context missing since we know how Bao is behind the scenes, but basically we don't have an MV editor now for our next Boss Rush project. We think Bao getting pissed that her editor did an original song MV for her friends without her knowing, and it did 100 times better than her original songs last year, that she locked him up so no one else could work with him. And then had him make it public on Twitter that he was only working with her going forward, like a literal announcement tweet. And now she's barking up the tree of one of our live 2D animators. So like, and you and a nano model, yeah, looking for me sounds sus for sure. It's so annoying. I don't know, man. She has a way of guilt tripping people to get her way. Okay. followed by spreading rumors and lies. Red asked me to cancel on one of their closest friends, Bao, by asking me to cancel my work mid-progress, manipulating me into thinking it is okay since she has many connections, and she'll be fine anyway, so I wouldn't feel guilty about it or worry too much. It was and is upsetting to me that Red contacted me specifically to check on me canceling the model I planned with Bao. Okay, that's kind of shitty. Let's just keep going. Let's keep on walking before I get an opinion. I'm losing it. I'm losing it already. I'm already moderately annoyed with this for a couple of fucking reasons. In the messages below, they mentioned wanting an exclusivity contract, but they didn't want to pay for exclusivity. But rather, when a creator from their blacklist comes asking for a commission, they would guarantee me model work for Sinder only. And if anyone asked me for, God, bro, who did you get to fucking write these, my guy? They commissioned me instead to compensate for not working with other creators. This felt very strange given that one of the accusations they made was overworking their editor, yet their solution to me working with other creators was for them to essentially overwork me to keep me from working on other projects. That's not quite what I get from that. But okay. The messages below showed that their primary concern is that the more non-Cinder models I make, the less valuable my existing models become. It's hard to say how much this messed. Wait, what? Huh? The messages below show their primary concern is that the more non-Cinder models I make, the less valuable my existing models become. It's hard to say how much this messed with my mind as an artist that by working with other people, I somehow make my existing models less special. The following screenshot is of them setting up the blacklist, saying I'm not allowed to work with any new clients or create any new outfits for VTuber 1. We already know who VTuber 1 is. Specifically, and justifying those things by saying that with each model, my art becomes less unique and special, and therefore Cinder somehow will become less special. Screenshot below. The idea that my work as an artist and designer is devalued by working with other people is insane and hurtful. After realizing what taking a deal with them would really mean for both my workload and my mental health, I backed out. I mean, like, if we wanted to have some kind of model exclusivity, what would you need to make that sustainable for you? I was driving. What are you thinking? So I asked my friends. They don't know it's you. Don't worry. So a monthly fee, calculating my monthly earnings. Also, how long would this be? And if this counts for models I already worked on. Well, I think the main thing we're looking for our four. Yeah, English. The writer isn't the. They had people help, but whoever helped didn't proofread, and it bothers me. But even then, most people can't fucking write anyways. Looks at this sentence. Well, I think the main things we're looking for are for you not to take on any brand new model clients and to not. Bro, why'd you add a comma? All right, you added a comma here. Okay. And to not make any new models slash outfits with blank again, you'd still be able to work on model. Bro, this fucking shit. Okay, with all of your other existing babies and your artwork comms wouldn't be affected. One of our concerns is that more nano babies means nano models don't have the same value anymore. And second is that there's a few people that we just would rather not be able to have a model from you. Maybe not any new babies at all. The reason why I brought this up at all is that there's been a lot of bias with another one of our partners with certain creators. And we'd rather these creators not have what makes Sinder unique, which is your artwork. Okay, what about we can pay blank for you and you don't have to discount it from the next payment, and we'll continue giving you lots of model work, I think, for this year right now. But you don't work with blank, blank, or blank at all again, models or art. I don't think you've ever done anything with blank or blank before. We also have another GS label for you too. The AFK. Is there any way to add a little bit more since blank still asks for art every now and then? We could do it like when blank asks for art, you tell her no, and then tell us to buy another art piece, like so you still get a job from it. So these guys kind of do have a point. I'm not gonna diss it. Like, you do, in a way, lose value when your art starts, like, when you have a lot of your art spread around, you do, in a way, start losing value because your name, it's kind of like being known. It's kind of like being known around the block, right? And, you know, your publicity starts getting kind of spread. Then, and it's not from, it's like, oh, for example, we'll say, oh, Bao has one, I have one, Sinder has one, probably Silver Veil has one, Iron Mouse has one, fucking John Cena has one, everybody has one, right? Everyone has a model from you. So in a way, your art does end up losing value over time whenever you start spreading really hard out. So if you can keep your art separated between like 3 models of people that are larger value, your publicity starts rising as those creators rise, right? So like, let's say if I was a model maker and I had Iron Mouse, Silver Veil, and I guess Bao, right? If I had those 3 on my docket, right? As those 3 get larger, my art becomes more known for their works, right? You're more well known for the people who are really high. That's why a lot of artists raise their fucking prices the moment they get recognized by Iron Mouse, or they get recognized by Silver Veil, or they work with Iron Mouse, or they work with Silver Veil. They spike their fucking prices, and it kind of makes them inaccessible to newer clients that aren't already massive streamers. So in a way, it does lower your value, but also it's kind of hurts it at the same time. It's so weird. Like, I can understand if you were made more exclusive, you would have to raise your prices. But also, if you're really doing a lot of work for a lot of new people and are taking on new clients and all this, and your workload is massive, then it's like your prices are gonna just increase just due to the amount of people coming in, not the like quality of your work, you know. And in a way, they're not wrong, but it's a weird way of saying it. Like, you do kind of lose that value. It's kind of like it's like that pre-made model. What's her face released? I can't remember her name. It's $130. It's a good model, but a great thing a great example of things you can say when it comes to that model is that people have gotten tired of seeing that model everywhere they go. If everyone and their dog has one, you lose value. We have 5 Google Docs right now, Cordy. Yeah. Suika, whatever her name was. Suika. Like, the value of that model to the community does go down because you get tired of seeing it everywhere. You know, it's kind of like if, like, yeah, it can be customized, it can be a little different, but at the end of the day, it's still not yours, and it doesn't have the heart and it doesn't have the passion behind your model. And so a lot of people, they like the look of it, but people have gotten tired of seeing that model everywhere on Twitch. It's a great intro model, but it loses value as more and more people see it. So there's kind of a point there. Granted, does it probably work with Nano? Not really. But there is a point there that can be made. Let's see. Another example of speaking ill of other creators right after they saw I was working with Shy Lily, trying to once again make the idea of working with other clients seem like I am setting myself up with problematic people who will do me no good in the long run to get me to reconsider working with them. They also continuously kept asking about my other clients' plans, which for them made the antenna go up. Huh? They also continuously kept asking about my other clients' plans, which for them made the antenna go up, and immediately went into slandering Lily. They consistently try to reassure me that despite their best efforts, they just happen to keep trying to bring drama in as reasons for me to go exclusive, and that working only with Sinder is them trying to look out for me. Okay, that's just, yeah, this sounds about sure. Hey, Nano, do you have more plans with Lily besides just the model, like outfits or merch or anything? Been just the model so far? Okay, her asking you for a model recently just made the antenna go up. She's been acting weird towards Sinder lately, and we don't know if something's going on. Ever since after V-Card launched. Dipping out of collabs they were both part of at the last minute, and now ghosting her messages. Cinder's raided her a couple of times in the past week, and Lily wants to acknowledge Sinder by name. Just like weird petty stuff, I don't know. That's super weird since both share the same store. Around V-Card's launch, they were talking and collabing, and I don't know what happened. But her asking you for a model after that was just weird, even though she said she doesn't plan on getting a new model anytime soon. Hate that we keep bringing you into drama. Yeah, I thought it was quite early to go for a new model. Look a bit menacing, so I don't talk to her. Feels like we're gonna have to compete with Lily if she's ghosting Sinder and wants the same model mama. The idea that they need to stay informed and gauge the competition is extremely upsetting and toxic to me. The competition they're referring to are people I thought they considered friends, who always helped, supported, and platformed Sinder. When I pushed back, the immediate response was blaming the other creators, implying that they initiated it by trying to work with me and that somehow justified their actions. They imply Lily ignored Sinder when she spent over a minute thanking the raid, which you see in this clip. goated game. First Berserker Kazan, but okay. Uh-huh. Okay. They implied Lily ignored Cinder when she spent over a minute thinking the raid, which you can see in this clip. She acknowledged the raid, but I guess if they were looking more for, like, Cinder, like, if they were looking more for Cinder to get the attention on it, then, like, yeah, they're kind of right there, but also just... like, I don't... This is nothing to me. This doesn't fucking... This is supposed to be one of them fancy gotcha moments, but this isn't one of those things. This is a... I don't care. Yeah, this is just being petty. Is it just Cinder and blank you've been doing? Continuous model outfits 4. We'll have the demon update list plus final arcade reference for you soon as it's finished. I think it is. I have an outfit for blank plan too. As for blank, got nothing for now, but she always comes up with some... You want to know something? I've made it halfway through this and I've learned something. I've learned something about this. If Nanoless would have simply just, I don't know, do the thing 90% of people do and don't talk about work with other people, this entire situation would be avoided. This entire situation had one guy, one person, if Nano here hadn't spoken on other people's business and stayed in their lane and working with Cinder was working with Cinder, and whether or not Bao, Silverveil, any of these other people, Shy Lily, are working on projects, stayed with the people who are supposed to be working on those projects with, this entire situation would have been completely avoided with fucking a millimeter worth of professionalism. Millimeter. The I do not disclose details about the work I do with other clients. Damn right, headshot. Literally, had you just kept your mouth shut, it would have been fine. A millimeter of professionalism would have solved this entire problem. Don't worry, just don't stress too much with the side things. It's bad for balding. I'm gonna go bald now. I'll keep you in the loop about anything else going on with that. The balding, no, you fool. Just stupid drama, gotta stay competitive even when we shouldn't have to. Also, your PFP looks like a guy with a mustache. Nanolist is actually kind of based in that. Don't go too competitive. Yeah, the I am not interested in signing an exclusivity contract. I enjoy working with lots of people. Also would have solved this entire problem. Like, Nanolist is right. Competitiveness, it can get bad, and that's kind of where it is here. Yeah, they definitely seemed a little too deep into the competitiveness. We aren't the ones getting a model from the artist of the other GS owner out of the blue and ghosting them and refusing to acknowledge them. I'm curious. I want to hear more on this. Like, about the, like, they took one of Cinder's artists and like moved it more exclusively. Because if that's true, that is kind of scummy. Especially if you know each other, but I don't think we're that far into this. Below, I wanted to push back and make clear I was uncomfortable on being dragged into drama, and they responded by bringing up more drama and baseless claims, all while trying to guilt trip me. It is ironic and crazy to me that I mentioned not wanting to be dragged into personal issues, only for them to, on multiple occasions, that felt weird, for them to, on multiple occasions, mention other people's alleged drama. I just get compared to her a lot. Okay, so that's Red, and then this is Cinder. Just wanted to say sorry for stepping back on the exclusivity deal. Wanted to apologize personally to you since I've only talked about that with Red. :C. But I just don't want to be dragged on any personal issues like that. After all, Blank's still a client, and it makes me anxious and kind of destroys my mental to do this kind of deal. Understandably. Just wanted to let you know I still love working with you and Red, but I'll understand if things doesn't work out because of blank. I just love my clients. That's all. Pretty based. Fucking good job, Nano. Round of applause. All right, we're done with that. I get it, Nano, and it was unfair to push this on you, but it's just really confusing going back and forth about it. I just get compared to her a lot, even still today, and it's like I'm always living in someone else's shadow, which is one reason why Red asked about not making any more models for her. And when I said I understand if things don't work out, it makes me feel like you're okay with not working with me anymore, which hurts so much after all this time. I really appreciate you, Nano, and it's your decision who you ultimately work with, but this is how I've been feeling. I don't really see the point of keeping thinking about being compared to blank. You're so much bigger already. You've done so much more. But I would never give blank any priority over you. Also, see, man, kind of, we'll see. Also, there's not even any model for her being discussed. I just want to sleep clear-minded. Also, I'm fine not doing her models, but at least gamer subs art stuff would be fine with me. I don't want to be 100% an asshole to her. That's all. It's not me, but other people's opinions of us, and I'm just trying to not get involved in any drama that other people want to talk about comparing us. But I understand where you're coming from, Nano. There's no hard feelings. It's just my mental is a bit weak. Sorry about the... Oh, same thing. Same girl. I'm sorry for bringing this to you. I want you to get that money. The whole situation is kind of sucky. I want to just get along. I understand. Okay, was I lied to? Oh I'm being bragged into drama, and they responded by bringing up drama and baseless claims. Justifying their behavior by stating that they are simply looking out for me when none of this has anything to do. I love everything. What? Huh? Wait, what? I think that makes me feel like it's just compared to her a lot, even still today. Dragged into I mentioned not wanting to be dragged into personal issues, only for them to on multiple occasions mention other people's alleged drama. Huh? Chat, did we pick up on any of that? Because I didn't. I picked up on none of that. It is ironic and crazy to me that I mentioned not wanting to get dragged into personal issues, only for them to on multiple occasions mention other people's alleged drama. I just get compared to her a lot still today, and it's like I'm always living in a shadow, which is one reason why Red asked about not making any more models for her. I don't see any mentioning of what. This doesn't have, like, it mentions her, but I wouldn't say at all in any of this it says, oh, it's bringing multiple occasions on people's alleged drama. No, this is literally just Sinder saying that it feels like she's in someone else's shadow. This isn't any sort of accusations. She feels like she's living under somebody's shadow, smaller, just tired of being compared, which is understandable. And other instances that weren't screenshot, maybe? I don't know. But, like, I'll be honest, right? Cinder makes a point here, right? And if you look at this, right, from... If you actually kind of switch the role here, right? And we say Nanolist is the artist, or Cinder's the artist and Nanolist is the VTuber here. If you kind of actually swap the roles here, it's understandable because you can swap both of these perspectives. For example, as an artist, you wouldn't want to be said, you wouldn't want to hear all the time, oh, your art looks like so-and-so's. Oh, your art looks like so-and-so's. Oh, your art looks like his art. Oh, can you draw me art that looks like his? Y'all styles are like almost the same. You wouldn't want to hear that. Same thing goes for being a VTuber. You don't want to hear, oh, you're so similar to this VTuber. Oh, you're so similar to that VTuber. It does feel like you're in the shadow and you're losing individuality. The situation does go both ways here. Like, it doesn't feel good to live in somebody's shadow, and it doesn't feel good to lose someone that you were working with because maybe you're not bigger, or maybe you're too small, or this or that. Like this is understandable. I see where Cinder's coming from here. I don't think this is any form of manipulation, at least to me. Like, this doesn't feel like trying to guilt trip. This doesn't feel like any of that. This just kind of feels like an explanation of why things are going wrong, so that, you know, you understand why something was put on you and why it should be taken off of you. You know, like there's no ill will here. I'm not picking up ill will for Nano backing out of this. There's no ill will. I'm not feeling hatred in here. This isn't feeling petty. This just feels like content creator shit. Justifying their behavior by stating that they are simply looking out for me when none of this has anything to do with, and manipulating me into being grateful for earning wealth thanks to them despite the loss of work from long-time returning clients and new clients. I don't. Yeah, like I would say it's kind of they're justifying it, but I wouldn't say that it's more justifying. Y'all are both venting back and forth to each other. I wouldn't. You're both doing the exact same thing. You're both venting. So like what? By saying, welcome back, Milk. For earning well thanks to them despite the loss of work from long-time returning clients and new clients. Concerning my work and models as a team. Another example of going after other clients of mine from before, claiming that having more clients alongside them makes my work less special, with the recurrence of it's just business, manipulating me to believing that working with her is special for multiple reasons, and that I risk losing that special something as a client if I prefer to work with others. So acknowledgement of my reasoning and need of working with other clients due to the nature of my work solely focused on their issues. I would also like to note again that this screenshot is one of many occasions that indicate that Red speaks on Cinder's behalf. I was originally concerned with everything going through Red that it may not have been 100% of Cinder's feelings or wants. I messaged her about it to make sure that he spoke on her behalf and confirmed with both of them that this was the case. Both sides are unprofessional. Yeah. Hey, Cinder, hope you're doing okay. I talked with Red, and I believe he talked to you already, and I thought it would be best if I just checked here personally. Actually, I wanted to know better your thoughts because Red tried to talk to me, and I think I misunderstood things. I'm doing good. What's up? Not to discredit any of your work, because everything you work on is the top of the line incredible, but when everyone's a nano baby, it feels less special to be one, if that makes sense. Kind of, like, in a way that makes sense. I thought on canceling some models because of it, then I realized it's not really fair to me. I understand what he means, but at the end of the day, it's just business. Of course, we love working with you and want to keep working together, but if you prefer to work with other clients instead of me, I know it's for a reason, for you to help grow and not because you don't like me. Being one of your very first model babies was so amazing. I was happy to be able to find someone to help you with live 2D cutting to improve your skills, and I think that's a big part of why everyone loved the 1.0 model and then started asking you for them. I can have Red send you a list of our plans for the future and estimated due dates, so just let us know what you actually want to work on. That way I have time to look for someone else if you don't have time for my projects or don't want to do them. It feels special to only have your model art for all of my outfits, but just let me know if you don't have time for me to be an exclusive nano art baby anymore. There's no personal reason I would never do something like this to you or anyone, but yeah, it's important for my job to reach far, and I like working on different projects and people. I never ever said I don't want to work with you anymore. I told Red, even though I have my other works, I will always have a way to get you a priority spot when possible. You will always be my special baby. Uh-huh. I also think it's important for you to work on projects that you are excited about. So I'll go through my plan. Fuck off, bot. This... I don't get it. I don't. I messaged her about it to make sure that he spoke on her behalf and confirmed with both of them this was the case. From reading your messages to me, there is a disconnect here between Sinder and Red. To me, there's a disconnect here. When I read this, Sinder is not repeating out what Red said. Like there's no there's a disconnect between them. You can kind of physically see this. Red is straight up saying, "We want to work with you, and we only want you to work with us." Where Sinder straight up says, "You are more than welcome to work on other people's stuff. Knock yourself out." My issue with this shit already is it feels like, I'm not saying this is probably because Nano, like, it feels like maybe because there's like the language barrier here, or that whoever Nano got to write this just didn't know how to convey what was like wanted or something, because that's not here. This isn't here. I'm not reading oh yeah, I understand what Red said and I want you to follow what Red said. Stop working with other people. Stop it. Don't work with other people. This isn't what I'm reading. Red tries to make it look like they never meant for it to appear like that. They wanted me to be exclusive by framing it as something I wanted, while immediately doubling down on the fact that me working with more people makes my work less special and no longer unique, as if every design is just a Sinder clone. That's kind of a point. There is an opinion on same face syndrome right now, but we'll leave that out of this one. I don't think that has any involvement here. So it's about working with Sinder. My friends told me it's a bit unfair for me to stop other models, so I do more for Sinder, which I agree with them. I'm a free artist and I should do whatever I want to do. I don't want to take sides on any drama or situations. I still will always have a way to have open slots for Sinder, but I won't be having her as my only customer. You're a free artist and should do what you want, but I was under the impression that taking on more Sinder work is what you wanted to do. I didn't think it was like we were making you do that. Got a misunderstand on both sides. It's more about this, the discredit thing. Oh, I see. I mean, what I said, it's still true about how we feel, but I wasn't saying you had to only do Sinder work from now on. That's with anything though, not just your work. If you have something special and then everyone wants and gets that thing, it makes it less special. I'm sorry you were under the impression we were trying to... I will keep things more business talk and less emotional. Lol. Just let me know how this will affect your schedule so I can tell Sinder after. Sorry for the stress, Nano. But every single model I do is unique and I make them special in their way. It's not like I'm selling Sinder to everyone. Please don't feel this way. That's not quite what they're saying, though. That's not quite... It's not the selling Cinder. It's that the one bike in the neighborhood is special until everyone has a bike in the neighborhood, is what they're trying to say. The first dude who has the cool BMX bike that can do, you know, fucking, you can do a Superman on and not break the spring is pretty fucking special until everyone in the neighborhood and has a BMX bike that doesn't break when you do a Superman. That's what that is. Like, they have a point. Granted, it's not entirely true because I personally don't know any of Nano's models, and I'm not gonna go diving in for same face syndrome here. I don't care that much, but it does make things less special when everyone has something. It becomes less special when you only have that one thing. Why do you think when in your friend group, you're the only one who has a PlayStation 3 or a PlayStation 4, and like all of your friends are coming to your house to play on your PlayStation 3 and 4, that they stop coming to your house when they get a PlayStation 3 or 4? Duh. This is pretty simple. It's simply business. Normalizing the behavior once again by stating that it's simply business to sabotage other VTubers' careers and not work with them. And okay, first off, dropping out as the VTuber artist is not sabotage. That is not sabotaging a career. That is not this. This is sabotaging a career. This is sabotage. Changing artists or backing out as an artist or not working with somebody anymore is not an attempt at sabotaging a career. The 5 fucking Google Docs in my tab bar, that's sabotage. This is not sabotage. This is shit that could have been solved in DMs. You're just making a living and making a name for yourself, and I can't blame you for accepting work from other big names in the industry and having very desirable talent. If you end up filling your model schedule again like it was, let me know. We'll have to replan some things depending on that. These are in DMs, but these weren't solved in DMs. This could have been solved without the limelight. Thank you for understanding my side. We all try to have our names somewhere. Just don't take it personal or anything. I still love working with you guys, and again, apologize for the trouble on your plans. I'll still revisit my list and see what I got. Business is business. If you want to go through the projects we talked about and let me know which ones you'd want to do too. I just want to do pretty models, not hurt feelings. Business is business. I really appreciate for understanding my side. I do understand your side too, but sadly it's something between you two, not me. I shouldn't get involved in this fight, and I just go burr. Right, I know. I just don't think our other conversation sounded like it was trying to make you not work with her on a model. Maybe I just considered the situation too much. My mistake for thinking this way. It's okay, but are we good for real? This feels like a weird breakup. I'm stressing. Me and you are good, but I still have to tell all this to Cinder. It'll be fine, don't worry. I think she's still sleeping. Where's the sabotage in this? Where? I'm so fucking confused. I'm so confused. I was. What? What? I'm okay. When they use business or business here, it's actually in against themselves. They're justifying Nano when they use business as business here. Because what? They're saying that you can take it, and if it disrespects Cinder, it's business is business. Shit happens. That's what they're saying. Shit happens in business, all right? Shit happens in biz. Bro, that's what they're saying. At least that's how I interpret it. That's what I'm reading. Nothing about this says business is business, therefore go fuck yourself. That's not what that's saying. That's saying business is business. If you got to take on something and it gets in my time, that's fine. Business is business. Do what you got to do. Shit happens, dog. Making sure none of this reaches the other VTubers and is all kept hush hush while also providing proof that they know what they do is ill-intended and should not get out, as it would cause issues for Cinder's career to be painted in this light. Note that the uncalled shot at VTuber 1 is even spoilered. A hidden message in Discord so it wouldn't accidentally be leaked. Okay. Dog. That's... wouldn't accidentally be leaked. Obviously, it's really easy to leak it because it's a spoiler. You hover your mouse over it, big dog. If you're on mobile, it's easier. You just tap it once and it completely unspoils it. I try to be transparent as much as possible. I think it's more fair for both sides this way. You didn't tell Blank you canceled because of Cinders, did you? No, I told all of them it was health issues. I would never blame anyone besides Blank. Lol. We never want to make you feel like we're making you or forcing you to work on / not work on something, especially if it's something you want to / don't want to do. And our conversation the other day wasn't meant to convince you of only doing Cinder work. Again, sorry it sounded like I was telling you only to do Cinder work. I'll message you later. Well, let's see if Blank wants a nano model or not, and hope Silvervale finds someone else. The constant obsession with VTuber 1 and claiming that she is asking for it by causing this unspoken competition, which is coming from absolutely no other source than Cinder herself. Her to recognize Cinder, even though it literally doesn't matter. I feel like there's this unspoken competition between them, and they need to one-up each other because Blank can't get along, but I also understand her point of view. A new VTuber who people say looks, sounds, and acts like you becomes just as successful as you in a year. If she did recognize Cinder as an equal or a friend, then it would be like she's endorsing her copy, or like I've seen some other people say, her replacement. They share a lot of the same audience too. Like at the end of the day, it isn't about how much we make compared to her. We just want her to recognize, hey, Cinder's a big VTuber too. She got there on her own merits, just like you did. Get along, and the marketing potential and money they can make if they teamed up. I just know anything we do, she's watching and will take from or try to outdo. Oh my god, you know the so Sinder debuted Saturday. Everyone hears about it. Figure announced. Spinning figure on screen with exclamation point figure right next to it. Blank stream yesterday. First stream since Cinder debut. Guess what? Spinning figure with exclamation figure next to it. And then like a month later, unfollowed her on Twitter and then started taking her ideas, Cinder's ideas, like the flames. Look, I'm glad they brought this up. I'm glad they brought this up because you know who's involved in this type of shit? You know who's involved in this? Fucking the blue hellhound lady, whatever the fuck her name is. Spite. Spite is also has a fucking thing in this. And I'm glad they bring up a point because the unfollow is weird. You know what else is weird? Being blocked by somebody you've never fucking met. I've never talked to you. I agree. It's kind of fucking weird to be unfollowed or blocked. So it's kind of the fucking point that that Nano's trying to make here, or not Nano, that Red's trying to make here. It is weird when shit like that happens. I've never spoken to you. Why am I blocked? I've been blocked since day one. It is very weird. Don't know why. Only reason I can see your shit now is thanks to Elon. So, like, the fuck? I don't know. It is weird. They have a point. There was also unprovoked tweet from her. Like, I didn't copy anyone else for my design. It's very freaky. Like I said, if you suddenly end up unfollowed or blocked by somebody, it feels like you maybe started shit with someone you don't know about. I have never messaged Spite in my life. I literally found Spite on TikTok one day, went to follow, and found out I was blocked. I have never, ever conversed with this person. I do not know who they are. Don't get it. Here's the thing, Cody. I've been blocked since I was red. I don't know. I don't know why I was blocked. Do I care? No. Alvin, thanks for the follow. So it's like there was this unprovoked tweets. I didn't copy anyone else for my design. My design is all me. This is who I am. This sounds like the same shit Cinder's been saying with the, hey guys, we're getting fucking oh, they're talking shit, saying I'm copy, saying I'm the other person, or that's all this sounds like. Bro, I've never been so disinterested in this shit. Holy fuck. Yeah, there goes your any ideas you had. Exactly. I was red. I'd like to highlight the irony of expecting to be entitled to recognition for her own efforts and size when her own active efforts are tied to sabotaging this very same VTuber. Also feeling entitled and insisting to be recognized by someone else is odd. What? I followed her on TikTok and ideas. It's funny because they called herself a hellhound. Wait. Using fire emojis all the time. SMH never did that before. It's funny because she used to call herself a hellhound, but stopped when Sinder grew past her. Now uses Cerberus or Cerberpup. Oh. Or whatever her lore says she is. I don't know. Yeah, so it's like was also unprovoked tweets from her like I didn't copy anyone else for my design. My design is all me. This is who I am. Like, huh? Who are you saying that to? Oh, all the on random Cinder clips on YouTube. There was one dedicated blank fan or someone she knew, I don't know, that would comment on these clips saying like, when are you going to clip blank only on Cinder's clips? It's the same thing. I'd like to highlight the irony of expecting to be entitled to recognition for her own efforts and size when her own active efforts are tied to sabotaging. If you were just more professional, Nano, I'm sorry, I'm saying it now. If you were just more professional, ding, 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 none of this would have even worked. Thanks for taking the time to read through everything. I hope this makes sense. We did it, guys. We did it. We completed Nanos. Oh, shit. What is my take on it? This could have been avoided. This could have been avoided. All of this could have been entirely avoided. Completely avoided. All right, cool. Round 2, fight. All right, Bao, what do you have to say? I don't remember, dude. I can't tell anything that happens with Spite anymore. How am I supposed to know, Cordy? I'm blocked. I'm not taking it personal. I'm just using this as a point of reference. Like, fuck you. Okay. Round 2, exactly. All right. Okay, luckily Bowles is a little... Fuck, is it shorter? Yeah, Bowles is a little bit shorter. Thank God. May Jesus help me. He mad. Damn right. Hello, this is Bao. I will only speak to what Nanolis has decided to share with the public and the messages that directly mention me by name. I would like to kindly ask everyone to refrain from turning this into a witch hunt. Yeah, guys, let's refrain from turning this into a witch hunt, guys. Guys, I don't want this to be a witch hunt, guys. Guys, it's a... Guys, it's a witch hunt. Guys, I don't want this to be a witch hunt. Guys, no, this isn't a witch hunt. Guys. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. We don't want this to be a witch hunt. Guys, look, the witches. God, fucking shit. All right. I would kindly ask everyone from turning this into a witch hunt and remember that we are still just humans at the end of the day. Before I start, I want to point out why I am addressing both Cinder and Red, despite the messages being largely from Red. Many times throughout the messages, the words we, we're, and our occur numerous times. My pitchfork is chromed. I worked hard on camo grind. That's wild. Occur numerous times. Look. Okay. As someone who was also to and worked with Cinder for years, I have firsthand experience on how Cinder and Red collaborate and the extent to which Red operates as her primary point of contact in her professional and personal projects. It is that experience that leads me to believe that all requests and messages sent by Red were both known about and approved of by Cinder. In March 2024, oh, fuck me, man. Jesus Christ, I'm gonna... Okay. I announced that one of my subathon goals was a live 2D model. Nanolis was going to be the live 2D illustrator after she finished both the design and base model sketch. There was suddenly back and forth on whether or not she had the physical and mental capacity to continue my model. I was very sad as I had not only teased a screenshot of the model sketch on Twitter, but I had grown very attached to the design and showed it to all of my friends. In a private group chat that Sinder was part of, I shared how devastated I was, and she did not comment or say anything despite others in the group chat comforting and reassuring me. I'd like to highlight the irony of expecting to be entitled to recognition for her own efforts and size when her own active efforts are tied to sabotaging the very same VTuber. There was suddenly a back and forth, the teased screenshot of the model sketch on Twitter. I had grown very attached to it. In a private group Cinder was a part of, I shared how devastated I was when she did not comment or say anything despite others in the group chat confirming and reassuring me. Fuck. Jesus Christ. We think it's petty. Is it though? Sorry. I'm fucking losing it, bro. I now realize the reason for her silence was because Cinder and Red were deliberately sabotaging ongoing commissions and blocking VTubers such as myself from having access to art from Nanolis. I wouldn't... It's really not hard proof, but sure. I'm fucking tweaking, bro. Fucking, I'm so annoyed. I'm so annoyed. We can pay blank for you and don't have... Okay, we read through this, so we can actually skip ahead on this. Oh, wait. Never mind. Okay, some of this was cut off out of what's-his-faces. Or what's-her-faces, Nanos. Is there a way to add a little bit more since as for... Let's see... With Bow, we have a GS label for you to AFK. We could do it whenever an arc you tell her no and then tell us to buy another art piece. Like so, you still get a job from it. It do be fair, but okay, can I ask for Demons... Can I ask for Demon Sinder figure? I want to understand it better, especially if I can... If I cancel for the second time. I am half paying attention. Bro, it also, to me, it also feels reach and kind of stretched. I agree. But is it dedicated all the time? Okay. Now let's ask Red on why he is encouraging her to not finish my model. Redacted then lists my name among various VTubers as well as vendettas Cinder and Red harbor against each. Val's been getting on our nerves for a while. She hijacked our YouTube editor, constantly picking up artists that we work with. Now she's barking up the tree of one of our live 2D animators, has a way of guilt tripping others to get her way. This is what Red acted lists as reasons why Nanolis should cancel her ongoing live 2D commissions with me, all while continuing to collaborate with me and pretending to be my friend. This is not what friends do. Friends do not sabotage other friends out of the business opportunities. Friends do not spread lies to fuel selfish narratives. Friends do not use the private information they get from the privilege of being close friends just to use and manipulate artists. If stepping on your friend... So I have a question. Here we go. This is like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really care about any of this. More screenshots of them arguing Nanolis to cancel. I don't, at this point, we understood this. This happened. I don't care anymore about this fucking stupid shit. I don't know what I've ever done to either Red or Cinder to deserve this level of vitriol towards me. I don't remember having any issue or problem that couldn't have been solved by talking. This entire problem could have been solved by talking. Regarding the messages where Cinder and Redacted openly accuse me of stealing their YouTube editor, Boss Rush music video animator, as well as artists they have worked with. You your stream highlight from me. Let's see, guys, it was nice to meet you. I was just watching your stream highlight from me and Cinder's collab, and I really loved your editing style and humor. I was curious if I could request a video edit from you. Then, if you have any availability, my username is Bao. She hijacked their YouTube editor. Kaiser is a mutual YouTube channel editor for myself and Sinder. My channel manager, June, and I asked Kaiser for one stream highlight per month as we were aware of his extensive position as Cinder's channel manager. I made a point to note this in my acquire to him in 2023. On March 20th, I started a Discord call that lasted 5 hours to hang out with my editors. In this group call, Kaiser shared with us that he was afraid to ask Cinder for a raise because he initially turned down. Friend of both Cinder and Kaiser, I encouraged him to take the deal and reassured him that it would not change our Both Cinder and Kaiser encouraged him to take the deal and reassured him that it would not change our friendship as someone I care about to miss an opportunity, even if it meant lose him as an editor. The other editors who are on can corroborate this. I'm sharing this context because there are no words to describe the hurt and betrayal I feel now, knowing that on the other side of the conversation, Cinder and Redacted were actively portraying me as a thief and a detriment to their business. I started Discord last 5 hours. Kaiser shared with us that he was afraid to ask Cinder for a raise because he initially turned down an exclusivity deal. Well, this doesn't solve the question. Did Kaiser tell Cinder and Red that they will not be working with Cinder anymore? Because that's what was said in this one. It's somewhere in here, I don't remember where. They claim that Kaiser said that they stopped working with Cinder. Well, that needs to be confirmed for any of this to make any fucking sense. For any of this to matter, really. I've only ever supported them in their activities and never once thought that I had somehow gotten on their nerves. Val had original songs last year that had my MVs by her editor, and the songs flopped. Yeah, we remember this. I'm in shock and disbelief that this is the narrative they decided I deserved, saying that I harbored an invisible jealousy because my songs flopped made me feel sick to my stomach. Dude, you know what's funny? You know what's funny about this right here? You want to know how this would have been solved? Is if these two people just talked more. Because, like, I bring this up all the time. I bring this up to Malk. If Malk was here, Malk would fucking double down. Fucking Jay would understand too, because I've mentioned it to Jay before too. Whenever I'm talking to my friends and it's stuff that bothers me, like a video flopped or my stream flopped or my like a TikTok edit flopped or this flopped or that flopped, I mention it because I would go to them to talk about this type of stuff. If they had just gone to Cinder and said, "Hey, my video flopped. This sucks. That kind of blows," you know, like. This entire situation would have sounded more like two friends just having a problem. But like in late 2024, I was dealing with debilitating TMJ pain that resulted in me having to drain fluid from my jaw from my jaw joint to open my mouth properly. They both knew this. I've always wanted my friends to succeed alongside me, and I don't know how they could say these things while simultaneously weaponizing my most vulnerable moments against me. Okay, so the reason why it flopped is the joint pain or the jaw pain. Okay. Not to do any more work with us. Ah, okay. So this is that one. Cinder and Redactor referring to my animator, Sacramore, whom I've been working with since 2023. Yeah, they're Sac. Proof of how long we've worked together. In 2024, Stack asked me if I could go completely exclusive for me and work for me in-house with no credit in order for him to be able to quietly work on his personal projects and brand without having VTubers ask him for commission work. I was happy to accept. This is just unprofessional. This right here is unprofessional. This is just unprofessional. Why am I... I'm checking DMs. What's this? Now back to food. Wondered that this was Sack's decision and no one else's. Here's proof segment. Like this is just unprofessional. You're using, like, I'm gonna be honest, you're using Bao as kind of a scapegoat to work on your, personal projects without having VTubers ask for more commission work. You honestly, like, this is, if you don't tell your clients that this is just frustrating. But maybe somewhere in the next one. Like, who knows? If you look at the timeline events from Nano's document, some of those messages date back years. I found out that this is less than 48 hours ago, and they did not give me a common courtesy to talk to me. Bro, wait a minute. How old is this drama? Are we like a year? There are the moments that I shared in confidence with people I thought would be on my side years and years from now may have been used as information to ruin my chances to have some VTuber model as someone as I thought was my friend. Bro, I would like to ask the community to refrain from spreading any harmful speculation. Everything shared in this document was done so with the express permission of those who shared it with me. I made this document with the intent to refute the claims made about me in screenshots. Thank you for taking this time to read this. Sack has a document in here too. If Sack says that they told Red about that, then it's fine. But this is just unprofessional. You should still tell your clients that you're no longer taking work, regardless. You don't have to tell them a reason. You could just tell them, like, hey, I'm not going to be taking any work anymore. I'm just going to go private with, so and so or whatever the fuck. It's just dumb. Oh, God fucking damn it. Who's this one? My experiences with Sinder. This is Spite. All right. Jesus fucking Christ. There's so much shit here. My love and admiration goes out to an analyst for having the courage to bring this to light. Artists are the backbone of our community, and taking advantage of her good-willed personality is saddening to see. I want to take the time to address what has been brought to light involving myself and what I've experienced over the years that coincide with these events. In this screenshot, the VTuber that is being talked about is very clearly me. Since the beginning of my VTuber journey, it has been written in my backstory and lore that I'm the daughter of Cerberus, and through an unforeseen summoning mishap, the Greek goddess, as many may know, Cerberus. Okay, 3 heads of Cerberus by early design. And when artists were still learning new model/rigging techniques, I opted for 2 other wolf heads on my shoulders as pauldrons to symbolically represent my other 2 heads. However, bro, what the fuck? Bro, she's using the Snoop Dogg skin from League of Legends. I'm sorry. However, the repeated comments of if you're Cerberus or your other two heads had pushed me to use the broader term Hellhound at the time. Fast forward to months to a year into my journey, and I started to receive harassment and berating comments and chat messages on Twitch and YouTube videos comparing me to Sinder and putting me down for being a Hellhound. Making the definitive switch to the Cerberus label brought me a sense of relief because the last thing I wanted to do or wanted was to be constantly compared or harassed at this point. I didn't want to be associated with her due to all the negativity that was being thrown my way. As the claims, bro, 2022? Oh my god, bro. I was 20 fucking 3, bro. This was started a fucking month after I debuted. Less than a... That's crazy. Okay, whatever. Leading up to this time, I didn't know who Sinder was at all. Yeah, I wonder, Spite, who are you? I'm sorry, that one was petty. That one was me being petty. Yeah, that was me taking a shot. Fuck you. I'm teasing. I don't really, it's not that big a deal. I had no idea she had fire in her ears or she was another hellhound. The creator's space is broad and I still stumble across creators larger than myself and I had not heard of before. Just stew on things for later dates, pretty much. The creator space is broad, and I still stumble across creators that I've not heard before. I never once stole her ideas. Apparently, bro, dude, I should be surprised. Spite knows me. I'm gonna be so petty during this, and I'm not even gonna care. I never once stole her ideas. All I ever want is to try to be unique in my own way. So these claims that I was following her and then unfollowing and stealing her ideas are absolutely baseless and uncalled for. I try to be unique in my claims following her. I'm dragging you down to the underworld on May 14th, 3 p.m. Eastern for my new model reveal debut. I remember seeing that, by the way. I think it was the debut is whenever I found her on TikTok. And then I went to go attempt to follow. And that didn't work out. Her posting her debut announcement trailer the same day as my 2.0 debut seemed off. Well, wait, what? May 14th, 2022, May 3rd, 2022. Her posting her debut announcement trailer the same day as my 2.0 debut seemed off, but I shrugged it off as coincident because things happen. However, this wasn't the last time it's happened. There have been multiple times where I have done something and either the same day or shortly after I was made aware or had discovered later that something similar had been posted, making me feel like I was being watched constantly. I tried my best to believe that it was coincidental. Is that why I'm blocked? I'm kidding. I knew it. That's why I'm blocked. I fucking knew it. I probably debuted sometime too close to... I don't fucking know, dude. I don't give a shit. This is gonna be the run-on joke for this entire thing, by the way. I'm just letting you know. This entire thing, it's gonna be what happens. There were many times when I designed a new outfit that I was really excited for, but afterwards, Sinder would release outfits or models with similarities to it. I didn't think much of it at first because it is normal to have some similarities or shared inspirations with other creators. The VTubing community is a huge space and similarities are normal. I'm not speaking to whether my designs were taken as direct references for hers. I'm addressing the need for the unprovoked tweets mentioned in the screenshots above and showing that I made statements to make it clear that I was not stealing ideas. How can I copy something that was released, teased, revealed after my own? Oh, okay, that's the point of the screenshots. The timing was weird. The timing was just a little weird. Okay, I would have probably led with this up here, or like this would have been up here or something. Like maybe more, all this would have been moved like first. That would have made more sense to me, but okay. Sounds great. I'm so happy with it. What do you think of my new outfit? June, September. Okay. I discovered this merchandise that she used for Uwu Market and had to do a double take because of the gray-blue skin tone used in the art. Several people thought it was me, and the similarities for this speak for themselves, I feel. Okay, so that one's Sinder and not. Okay. Well, now are we just throwing accusations back and forth, or? Could never do wrong. On April 29, 2024, I designed a Greek goddess outfit on stream. I am a Cerberus VTuber, so it fits my lore completely. I mentioned that I may or may not get a future Greek goddess outfit because it fits my branding. About 4 months ago, Sinder debuted a Heaven Okami-inspired outfit that was white and gold, resembling a Greek goddess in the background for debut. She also included Greek columns. At this point, I felt like there was nothing I could come up with that would even slightly original to me. I'm aware that nothing is completely original, but I still wanted my own identity. Well, you're both hellhounds, so like you could make the reasonable jump to be like, yeah, it would, you know, we're coming up with similar ideas. Like there's a jump there. So I guess that at that point it would just be level of petty. On April 20th, 2024, I debuted a new model for my model mama, Ari VT. Oh my god, it's Ari from League of Legends. I'm sorry. I got a hoodie with a cute design on top, and I had side bangs covering my eyes. On April 4th, 2025, Sinder debuted a sports hoodie with side bangs covering her eyes, similar to mine. Okay, that one's a little sussy. I'll give credit there. That one's a little sussy. But even then, kind of a stretch. For example, I remember posting about my first ASMR stream the day I was supposed to do said stream. Sinder plugged her ASMR channel. I thought it was a bit suspect, but brushed it off. I don't have screenshots of the comments and bullying that I received from our community. There were too many that it became too much to keep track of and just started ignoring them. Because I never wanted to save images of their words that hurt me, I didn't even want to read the harassing comments in the first place. I just wanted to be left alone and be happy in my own space. I received a DM on January 25th, 2023. I will not disclose who the sender was without their consent. The sender expressed to me that they were getting bullied by Sinder and certain members of Sinder's community because she too had fire in her ears. I never responded to the DM because I wanted to stay away from the drama as much as possible. Hey, you popped in my feed, and can I just say I love your design? I had a rather odd question, I posed. Have you ever had any messages from the VTuber Sinder regarding your design? This may seem out of nowhere. See, there's an interesting take to have here. So, if you remember in 2023, hard 2023, and it was probably early into 2023 to mid 2023, the accusations of copying VTuber models had skyrocketed. Like everybody and their dog was copying another VTuber. So that kind of makes sense to this. Kinda. Like, especially with the era. It is definitely possible to say that there's a lot of like similarities and communities would be jumping at each other's throats because of how everybody's eyes were on big VTubers at the time, or not even big, but like, you know, VTubers with that are essentially partner. VTubers that were 75 and partnered, they roughly all had a similar, you know, it was very easy to say that they were copying one another because there weren't a lot of VTuber artists that were up. And obviously artists will take, you know, and cut corners and copy and paste models and stuff like that, copy and paste bits and pieces, you know. That was peak you share colors with me and must be copying me. Exactly. That was that time, and that was the peak era of 2023. So it's definitely possible. It is most definitely possible that this could just be like kind of horse shit, but it's also possible that it's true. But also, it really doesn't matter to me. It's one of those things that's just kind of like minimum. Sure, we can say that this is a level, like this is just petty, petty to being petty, which is fine. Whatever, that's okay with me. Petty equals petty, but it's fine. It's whatever. I'm just very sad and disappointed in the situation. I had my suspicions about this, but I never wanted to be a part of the drama, so I kept quiet. I've also seen what happens when a creator stands up for themselves and receives major backlash, even if they're in the right, so I never vocalized my concerns. Okay, you know what? You're kind of based for that. I take it back, Spite. You're kind of based for that. You're kind of based for that. I give you. You can't tell, but I'm there you go. I've always designed my own models. I've gotten inspiration from Cerberus with the chains and spikes, Disney Hades because I call myself Goth Girlfriend. I was inspired by Sam and Ember from Danny Phantom. Fucking based. Plus many other of our goth crushes that we've had growing up. I just focused on myself and my friends. Meanwhile, I had eyes on me the whole time. Knowing that I was being watched and talked poorly about hurts, especially when they never attempted to interact with me. Don't worry, Huns. I wish I knew Spite better, but there's been a very weird, I haven't been able to talk to Spite ever type thing, but it's okay. Don't know how that happened. I did my best to go there. This is going to be the infinite run-on joke. I'm so sorry. It's going to happen for this entire Google Doc. It's not even me taking shots at Spite. It's me just taking shots at how it happened. I don't even know how it happened. I woke up this morning in shock. It's terrifying and hurtful to know that someone could attempt to blacklist me when I've never even spoken to them. I hope going forward that no one else has the experience like this. Thank you guys for being supportive towards me. I love this community so much. Please go and give love and support to all of those who have unfortunately been involved in this situation. Please support Natalis, who was brave enough to speak up, and the VTubers who were affected. Please support my first model mama, the wonderful... and also my most recent model mama, the wholesome REVT. Thank you for taking the time to reading this. Dude, I don't know. I've been blocked. I think it was since I debuted. Which, look, I'm going to pull the VTuber card here, and I'm going to run the point of, like, hey, guys, this is me being, like, I'm going to be all speculative. I'm just saying... I debuted April 22nd. They debuted July 20th in 2022. All right, I was April 22nd. You know, I didn't copy nothing, all right? I didn't even know she existed, all right? This wasn't me, okay? Not I. I didn't do nothing. She was probably just jealous that I come with spider legs, okay? This is the fucking problem with VTubers nowadays. I'm kidding. I'm sorry. Spite, no harm. Whatever. If Spite somehow comes across this, there's no hard feelings. I don't give a shit. I shouldn't have to say this, but me putting out this statement is not a call for an excuse for anyone to turn the situation into a witch hunt. Again, probably should be considered before you have 3 like whole things. Let's see. My intention for making a statement is strictly to give myself closure from the events of the past years and clarify how I have personally affected. I debated if I wanted to even say anything after being asked if I wanted my name in the original document censored, as the situation is much bigger than just my personal experience. However, after finding out a wide extent of transgressions where I feel like I need to give clarity in the situation, how it's affected, I want to note, as others have, though a majority of these messages are from redacted Cinder's manager, I find it impossible that he acted solely on his own intentions without Cinder's knowledge or consent, given the extent to which he has represented her publicly and professionally. Yeah, Nano and VTuber 1, it's Silvervale. We know who you are. Sinder and I just wanted to stop with Nano, you're a freelance artist. Silver is a long time. Okay, yeah, this is just all the messages involving Silver. I am VTuber 1 in the screenshots provided by Nano in her document. I've been a friend and client of Nano for years, and seeing how she was manipulated and abused by Cinder. Okay. Red makes me livid. She is an absolute sweetheart and just wants her clients to be happy. It breaks my heart to see how she was treated like a tool and a resource to be used for growth rather than a talented living person, and gaslit into somehow believing that how she was being treated was okay. Again, this is coming from Silverville, but that's none of my business. I am so proud of Nano for having the courage to come forward to the affected people with all of this and let everyone know that they were being unknowingly sabotaged. I've spoken to her privately and want to be clear that I have no ill will or hard feeling towards Nano for her involvement in this. I urge people reading this to try and understand the emotional manipulation on display and empathize with her situation. This is a lot I could say about this about how disgusting I find their behavior towards other creators in general, but I want to focus on my personal experiences. I feel like deep down, all big VTubers use each other. This can't be anything new. It's not anything new. All big VTubers pretty much bounce off each other and do shit like this. Artists are also at fault for doing this type of shit because, again, once they get noticed by big VTubers, they start raising their prices to fucking buttfuck numbers like 11K for a model. Some of them 15K for a model, base with no outfit. Artists are just as fault for doing that type of shit. Artists make themselves pretty much exclusive to big VTubers once they become big artists for big VTubers. It's just how that goes. Discovering that all that was going on behind the scenes has been gut-wrenching. I didn't know Cinder. We weren't friends, and we have barely talked. Even writing this, I do not understand what I could possibly done to warrant a level of malice and cruelty shown. In our private interactions, I was as cordial as possible, but I just wasn't interested in associating with her professionally or being her friend. From a few uncomfortable interactions I did have with her, I had gotten the vibe that her primary goal was to climb the social and content ladder and grow her brand. I'm fully aware how common that attitude is and that it's just how you grow in this sphere, but I personally don't have the emotional fortitude or bandwidth to have friendships for the express purpose of growth. For the record, I think it's fine to have that view and approach to content creation, but also reserve the right to simply not vibe with someone. And she's got a point there. You kind of based for that, Silver. I'm paying 50K for a fucking Pixels, man. He's trying to sell me a Mona Lisa. Exactly. I would much rather not associate with someone at all than pretend to be their friend for the purpose of growing my brand. You know what, Vale? I take back all the bad things I said for you. That's you're pretty solid for that. I take back. My bad. The only time I had actually talked to her directly was during my meet and greet at TwitchCon 2023. I had finished my meet and greet and I was wrapping up. She walked directly to the screen to meet me and had someone else take a picture of us together. I was not informed of this picture or asked permission for it and only knew about it once I saw it on Twitter. Is this are we taking offense to this, or like that? You know, I could throw you guys. Hello, I appreciate the sentiment, but I prefer to not do collabs. No worries. Hope you're having a good weekend. You know what? That's professional right there. You know what, Silver? It is? Is it? Here's my issue with this, right? If we're taking offense to this right here, look. That's Huns. See, you say that, but I don't. I could do the same thing with a fucking screenshot, bro. Like, I don't take offense to this type of shit. It's not a. It's not that deep to me. It's like I could recreate that with a fucking TV. Like I could fucking do the same thing on twitch.tv. I'm sorry if this isn't something that I can even remotely point at and be like, that's fucked up. I'm just not able to do that. After the meet and greet, she contacted my manager at Mythic to ask me to collab with her. I told her I would rather not collab, but accepted her friend request on Discord after turning her down. In private DMs, she reached out and asked me to do merch or other various forms of collab to be monetized, to which I again declined. I will always prioritize my mental health and peace over the potential profit that would make. Could have just said no to the friend request here. Like, you could have just said no to the friend request. This kind of goes back to the thing you said a moment ago where you won't pretend to be a friend. Well, then why'd you accept the friend request? I had a live 2D model in the works for my birthday with Nano, which was eventually canceled. I was devastated as Nano was the one who originally asked if she could do this model because she was excited to make it with all the new things she had learned, and my birthday was special. At the time, the reason given was health and stress and disappointment. Yeah, whenever there's a manipulation, blah, 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 blah. How heartbroken I was and am. We're gonna need tone tags. It's crazy. Yeah, we saw all that. I didn't think much of it at the time, but Sinder messaged me on Discord right before my model was canceled. She celebrated that we shared art, despite the fact that at the time she and Redacted were actively working to take the potential for more away. Cinder and Redacted have spent years sabotaging me for no understandable reason. I've never done anything to warrant this other than just existing as Silvervale. They actively sought to get my models and art canceled, and based on the messages I have seen and shared above, seem to have not had any second thoughts about doing so. It's hard to express how crushing a feeling it is to be talked about so cruelly and maliciously without my knowing, and to know opportunities and friendships are taken away for what I can only assume is spite and insecurity. There is no need to the amount of anxiety I feel knowing that these rumors were expressed to Nano. I have to assume they were expressed to others as well. I hope this document and the evidence presented will convince you that I am not the person that Cinder and Redacted tried to convince people that I am. Okay. This is... Who is this? This is one of the managers, I think. Is this Sack? I think this is Sack. Oh, God, it's another really long one. Yeah, people were just like, Silver could have just declined it. That would also help this entire situation. This is going to be very unorganized, but I'll try to keep this brief since I don't really think that they, Red specifically, deserve any more of my attention after hearing what they have said about me and also how working with them was. First off, to address this, yeah, we remember this. I asked Bao to go anonymous. Yeah, we got this because he mentioned the Bao thing, or Bao talked about this. Doing a video for others was having a lot of people / companies reach out and ask to work with them. I'm not good at saying no to work opportunities, since in general, being just an editor is not a long-term sustaining thing in most scenarios. Hence why a large majority either turning to become managers or their own content creators with their own platform. So I just wanted to be left alone this year to work on other things than just editing for the people. Which is why I want to be separated from my commissioned work, since I do not like the idea of just being labeled an editor. Huh? Since in general, being just an editor is not a long-term sustaining thing in most scenarios, hence why a large majority either turning to become managers of their own content creators or their own platforms. Well, not being mean here or anything, but like, until you are a manager or any of that other stuff, you are an editor. Like, until you become a manager, you're just an editor. And that's not a negative thing. Editors say fucking, editor is a good thing. I'm not dissing being an editor. Yeah, he doesn't want to be labeled an editor, but is an editor, and he's working to try and become a manager, which is good for you. Proud of you. Go. Again, round of applause. But you're an editor until you're a manager. And this isn't a dissing thing. Like, editors are the big reasons why a lot of VTubers make it. The editors are the biggest reason why VTubers. Editors and artists keep the VTuber community moving. So, like, this isn't a diss, and this isn't like a small thing. Like, if I heard, oh, I'm an editor for Silvervale, I would have been like, oh shit, damn, you in the big leagues. Kind of like whenever I hear like, oh, I'm a moderator for Silvervale, I'm like, oh shit, you in the big leagues. Like that, like, yeah, that's a positive thing. It's not a diss, but like, I think they're actually, I guess what I'm actually trying to say here is they're kind of discrediting themselves a little more than they should. Like, obviously work to become a manager, do what you want to do, but you're kind of discrediting yourself here. Like, it's really, you're a bigger deal than I think you should be, and you should give yourself credit for that. See, DOG can be nice. We love working with you. Cinder shouldn't be okay. That's fine. When me and Cinder initially discussed working on a music video project at TwitchCon, everything was fine and friendly. However, I'm in the Bush League. When me and Cinder initially discussed working on a music video project at TwitchCon, everything was fine and friendly. However, the part that is stated as practically jumped through hoops is, well, a bit of an overstatement, to say the least, since they had asked me a significant amount of times trying to get me to work with them after I told them no multiple times. I only said yes because they offered double pay. Okay, you based for that. I don't want to be labeled as a VTuber. I'm a content creator on Twitch. I'm completely full every day this month, and earliest I can do is November 9th. Just check in, thank you. Okay. Anyway, so I've been trying to figure out if there's any feasible way I could slide Cinder into my schedule this month, but between moving in my new apartment this week and the Halloween album 7 MVs, I think November 9th is very earliest I can start. I'm very sorry, but if there's any projects after that date y'all would like me to do, I can lock y'all into my calendar 100%. Again, very sorry for any inconvenience. How long does it usually take for you to edit an MV? We do remember that. But depends on the complexity and length, so Optimum would be a little over a week or two, I guess, for Rush. Okay. Yeah, everything for the MV now. Work on it in between your other projects and have it to me by the end of October. But I just don't have any free until November 9th. Missing out on a good one. When is it free again? Things have been pushed back a lot. November 9th. To be honest, I'll start a 2-day wrap-up battles MV in that case. To be honest, I'll probably start a day after 2 rap battles. Song. Topography is something you're good with. Can I hear it? If not, no worries. Just kind of getting it as in English or JP English. Lots of animated text with different fonts, but yeah, that's fine. It's just a still image using for. I don't know. I can send you more details in a week or two. Yeah, that should be good. Just hit me up whenever you get ready to super down. Are y'all available? Sorry for getting back to you so late. All good. I'm still 100% down. We were hoping for the end of November release. Oh yeah, that'd be impossible for me. Like I said, I'm still super down to do it and really hope to be able to work with Sinder on the video, but my schedule is always super packed / full planned weeks and months ahead without. Uh, I'll give 100 tier 3 subs, no cap. 100 tier 3 subs would go crazy. But also, thanks for the follow, Dragon. Appreciate it. Also, I can't wait to get the follow-up message. Sorry, gotta go. Get scammed. I would sob softly. But also, I'm not sure what they're about with Bao not knowing about me working with them. Since I asked Bao with Cinder and Red, also we waiting for them 100 subs. Nah, I'm just teasing. I asked Bao with Cinder and Red standing right next to me at TwitchCon if it was fine, since I had to agree to do all of the Halloween album, but would probably miss one of those songs. Dragon D's nuts. Hey. And she had no problems with it at all. Okay. Also, the stream was pushed back for no reason. Of the video wasn't done yet. Song was going up at 2 p.m. if I remember. However, this partly really got under my skin due to the fact that it was just straight up not true. And if something goes wrong in the video production line, no matter who's at fault, the blame will fall on the editor / animator pretty much every time. Dragon usernames are great. So it felt as if it was getting passive aggressive, blamed publicly on stream in front of thousands for the lateness. Really upset me since the video was not late even under a very tight deadline, where I did not even receive all the work until the 18th. The first full master until the 19th with a teaser version as well as an ad for the end of the video. Dude, this is so fucking tiring, bro. I also had skipped going home for Thanksgiving. Look, is it me? I hate this type of shit. I had skipped going home for Thanksgiving after having a family member pass to get the video done and rush the hell out of it. Like this is kind of shitty. I don't know. Maybe it's just because of how I am. I don't know. Entire video was done from scratch in a little under 2 weeks. And since there were quite a few both visual and audio assets, I did not have the time to even remotely resemble. Dude, there's like really nothing I can even talk about in this. So I felt like this was an attack on my work ethic, which is something I take quite a lot of pride in. Fucking fat dub to you for taking pride in your work ethic. Hell yeah, Sack. Fucking... I did not receive the merch assets until the 27th as well either. Okay. Okay. The video was completed and delivered on time with enough time for YouTube to process the 4K version. There's probably more that I should clarify since I'm aware this is unbelievably poor organized, but I'm very tired and don't feel like giving any more energy to these people. If there's... What do you mean, these people? I'm kidding. If there's anybody who has questions for me, just send me a DM. You know, after reading all 5 of these fucking things, dude, Sack is the most respectable out of all of these. This isn't even me, like, I'm not dissing the others, don't get me wrong, but Sack is easily the most respectable in the way it was done. Sack kept it personal, kept it short, kept it sweet, talked about what he's aware, or she, I don't know Sack personally, they're aware, and kept it to the point, to them involved, their deals, their problems, their person. They didn't come into the defense of, one another. They didn't say, oh, you're shitty for that, they're shitty for this. It was their go and their go themselves. Easily the most respectable person. The VTubers community is shit and will always be. You're very right, Hans. Out of all of this, easily the most professional person. Now, what are my opinions on all this? Because we finally did it. We got all 5. We did it. We did it, chat. We completed all 5. We fucking did it. This could have all been pretty much stopped at the door with Nano. Not dissing Nano. But had Nano just stayed professional, kept it quiet, said, I don't talk about other clients, this entire situation would have been completely avoided. Now, obviously, fucking Sinder's in the wrong here. Just it's obvious. Do I think this is 5 Google Docs worth of wronging? No. I feel like maybe we could have all came together and talked about it and made it like one Google Doc, and maybe we would have accomplished to cut down the number of pages this was. No, because had Nano just avoided talking about other clients, which is what you're supposed to do, like, don't talk about your other clients regardless. If they're working for you, keep that shit private, and people don't need to know what so-and-so's working on. So-and-so doesn't need to know Bao is working on this, that Silverbear has that fucking Spite has this, and they have that, and they have that, and this has that, and that has this. Not necessary. It is pretty funny that there's 5 Google Docs for this, but I've seen less Google Docs for literal fucking weirdos. Like, this is crazy. But this isn't that deep. It's not that deep. I don't. Yeah, is Sinder kind of a turd? Yeah, but like, kind of really, who isn't? Like, everyone has a little bit of a turd somewhere. Like, even Silverveil doesn't have her fucking. Even Silverveil doesn't have, her clean background. Like, I don't know enough about Bao or anything like that, but there's been drama involving, some of these other people, but there's so many of these, like, big VTubers and shit like that. Like, not everybody has their clean background, and I do kind of agree with Bao in this, is that we are people. We do make mistakes. Yeah, Cinder's kind of a turd. Yeah, everyone has a turd somewhere on their lawn. This is just Cinder's turd. Sure. Cinder, like, we can say Cinder's kind of culty-ish, or, her community's kind of culty-ish. But, like, it's culty. It just is. It's just culty. And, all of them have culty-ish communities. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I don't get the vibe that I would ever be able to talk to Bao. I don't get the vibe that I'd ever be able to talk to Silverveil. And I really don't get the vibe that if I talked bad about either of them, that their communities wouldn't be on my fucking doorstep trying to burn my house down. Right? Like, I don't. Do I think we should cancel Cinder? Nah, it's not that big a deal. Plus, come on, if we cancel Cinder, come on. Dude, we've canceled people for less. Like, or not even less. We've canceled people for more. This is bottom of the barrel bullshit, bro. This isn't even drama that's drama. Like, obviously Cinder shouldn't have been doing wrong. Cinder's kind of a turd. But I'm not gonna be like, oh fuck him. It's like, just don't talk to him. It's that easy. Just don't converse with them. Don't talk to them. Sure, I could see that happening. Yeah, it's wrong of them to do that to Nano, but also, like I said, a little bit of professionalism could have prevented Nano from overstepping into any of this. Because, in my opinion, for example, like, if anything, this kind of makes me never want to work with Nano, because to me, if I'm working with somebody, I don't want to be told, like, everyone, I don't want them telling my business to everybody else. And nobody needs to know my business. All right, my business and my business. All right, you keep that shit under locks. All right, especially like, what if I'm doing something, right? Like, if I think about it this way, right? Let's say I'm doing something like really special, something really cool, and something that I was gonna do for the community or my community or something or anything like that. And I tell my artist that, and I tell my artist, like, hey, I'm super excited to do this. And then they go and tell some other VTuber, right? Now, what if I don't know they told that VTuber and I end up accidentally pissing off that VTuber? Now they have a weapon to ruin everything I was working on. They have the capabilities to ruin everything. Like, I'm sure Nano had no harm intended in this, but it is just better practice to not talk about that shit, especially from an artist. Now, if we say this came from, like let's say if I told, another VTuber that thing that I'm working on, I'm putting my trust in that VTuber. As an artist, or as the person that I am working with, you are not the person to be telling people or about my plans. You are not telling people about what I'm about to be doing. You are not the person to do that. I am that person. I am the one who decides where the stuff I'm considering, where that trust and that information goes. I would not want to work with Nano after this. I would be being 110% honest. I would need to know that Nano has gotten better and Nano does not tell people about things before I would consider working with Nano on projects that I want to keep locked down and excited for other people. This does not help Nano's image. If anything, if you can put aside the Cinder hate here, and you look at this more objectively, this is what I get from Nano. I don't like it. No issues towards Nano for that, but there was definitely no reason for Nano to be telling Cinder anybody else's information. There was no reason to tell anybody else about any of the other things with any of their other information. Not mandatory. Now, how do I feel on the whole bow thing? Like, pretty much it's like everybody just got their shit. Like I said, the only one I really like hard respect here is Zach. I'm being honest. Everybody else, their opinions, like, I guess my opinion of Silvervale kind of went up. Like, Silvervale has some good points. I respect Silvervale a little more for this. Good for her. Granted, she also could have prevented this situation had she probably just not accepted that friend request. Same thing goes here. It's like this entire situation was completely avoidable. Like the whole thing with spite is like we're just assuming that content was stolen. This just feels like they're trying to protect their content and their brand. You know, like it like come on, dude. April 20th, 2024, April 4th, 2025. We were holding this grudge over the hoodie for a whole year. We held on to this for a year. Like, to me, most of Spites could have just been completely avoided. Like we really didn't need any of Spites. Like, Doc, I'm gonna be honest. This is more just staring at the community, and this is just more taking a shot at the community or something of Sinder, which is fine, but like, and how Sinder kind of fucked over Spite, but this isn't that. Like, I feel like this one could have been avoided. It's more Spite defending herself, which I guess is fine, and trying to get Cinder's community off of her back, but like that one feels kind of unnecessary. Silver Veils brings to light some good things, but this just isn't it. Like, there's so much wrong in this, dude. You can't even talk about it. Though, I'm not gonna lie, I would love to hear like more on Spite's perspective here. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I would love to know kind of more where Spite's coming from, because there isn't much going on here. Like I said, this feels like it could have been unavoided, but I would love to know from Spite, like herself, what this really entails or where this really goes. Silver made it pretty clear cut and obvious, but there are a few questions. Like, it just feels so empty. Like, I would love to talk with some of these people just based on this situation, but it's just how it is, you know? I don't know. I don't really have a deep opinion on this other than it feels mostly like, it just feels mostly like we want to go after Sinder, which, you know, I feel like this is something that could have been resolved via like, hey guys, Cinder's doing this thing. We should really call out Sinder here. We don't have to take this to Twitter, but we could call out Sinder in DMs, and if they do some shit, we take this further, you know? Yeah. Yeah, people are getting their own say in it, but I don't see it. My opinion on it, Cinder's kind of a dick. Nano could have done better. Bao, I guess Bao's justified in that they were friends and that they definitely lied mostly. Like, most of this does involve, like, they definitely mistreated Bao really bad. But this isn't it. This just isn't it. They could have done better. They could have done better. This isn't where I see this. But I don't think Cinder should lose their essential career over this. I think they should be held to a better accountability. And I think Nano should definitely stop talking about other stuff. But like I said, I'm sure from Bao's perspective, and I'm sure from this perspective, and, you know, from everyone else's perspective, from these three, Bao, Silver, and Spite, I would love to hear more on their perspective, just because it just kind of feels like personal issues, or like even Silverveil kind of had it. I just didn't really vibe with her. It's like that could be an immediate bias. Teach the rest a lesson on narcissistic, bro. If this is what's gonna teach the lesson on narcissism, then no VTuber is gonna make it. Because, like, I can also understand kind of where Cinder's coming from. I've been in similar situations. It happens. It happens. This isn't just something that Cinder's being an absolute dick about. It does feel this way. Like, it definitely at times can feel like while you are attempting to work on a model or get a model done or do something or do that, so maybe the model mama you were working with does a model for somebody and they blow up bigger than that person or than you, and suddenly you just can't do anything. You can't get work from the model mama, you can't do any of that. So it definitely feels like it happens. It definitely does happen. This isn't a thing that accidentally happens. Like, it is a thing. It is a thing that happens, and people, I think, don't quite understand that this is something that does just happen in the wild. And people should take that into perspective here, because that's the perspective I get on it. It just is what it is. That was kind of weak of of 5 Google Docs. That was pretty weak, I'll be honest. Well, it is what it is, I guess.